Hi everyone, welcome to another new video on Love is Blind Season 7. This time we'll be discussing Hannah and Nick. So first, spoiler alert, this episode is going to include episodes 1 to 11, and also disclaimers. I understand it's an edited show. I am only analyzing the characters portrayed. I also believe that people can grow and change. This analysis is only for our own learning and reflection. Please do not use what I say to bother the cast. So I think Hannah's main issue is that she is deeply insecure.
And like you could be the best person in the world, you have the prettiest face, best personality, but if you have a couple extra pounds, you're not really into you. For me, I feel like no one ever gets to know who I really am.
In particular, she is hyper-focused on body image and social status.
I mean, fat is so objective, right? And then last year I lost like 45 pounds. So I feel like weight is still like a sensitive topic for me.
And I'm talking about social status based on stereotypical American high school dramas where the cheerleader and the athlete are top of the food chain.
Cheerleader in high school, date the quarterback type of feel, like growing up.
And Hannah's insecurity causes her internal conflict. On the one hand, she deeply desires someone to love her for who she is, regardless of external criteria. But on the other hand, she can't get past beyond just looks herself and overemphasizes and inflates her own physical attractiveness, which means she is not really presenting her authentic self for the other person to get to know in the first place.
Because guys like you are the ones who like me in the real world. I am just hot to them, or I'm just like a pretty thing to look at.
People deal with low sense of self-worth in different ways. Hannah deals with her insecurities by denying them.
I don't think I have a lot of insecurities internally.
Instead, she creates this hyper-inflated version of herself.
I'm someone who really prides myself. I've accomplished a lot in life, right? Like, you go to college, you get a job, you get your dream job. And I had my dream job, I made a lot of money.
Basically, if I shout loud enough about how great I am, then everyone else would believe it. Then I would believe it.
One of the things I'm most attracted to you is you're clearly really smart.
I know a lot about a lot of things, I think. And I've always been very healthy, good, not good looking, but you know what I mean?
I know.
Hannah is very conscious of the optics, how she looks to people. So this is why I think she tries to surround herself with people she deems superior and harshly rejects those that she deems inferior because she believes that who she is with reflects her worth.
Hannah's 5'9", 5'8".
Right.
I said I was okay with that. She cut me out.
I feel like Hannah also has this need to be the queen bee, therefore prioritizes how her decisions are being perceived by the group.
Everyone was like, Hannah, you gotta end it with someone. Who you're gonna end it with? You should end it with Nick. And I was like, okay, that's what I'll do.
So people were telling you to end it with me? And that's what you listened to?
Yeah, kinda.
My theory is that Hannah was initially talking to the girls about Nick as a way to actually show off.
I think he's a hot guy. I don't think he's ever had a problem finding someone. I feel like with him, I'd have to be this perfect woman.
How are you still talking to him?
Because he's charming.
Because in her head, she thinks that she's captured the attention of this good-looking, smooth-talking, womanizing athlete.
I really think he's ready. I think he really wants a wife. And I'm his number one. And
He's been telling you this whole time?
Yeah.
But as soon as she realized that no one is actually impressed with her conquest,
And I made it thoughtful.
Hannah quickly changes her mind about Nick based on peer pressure.
That sounds like a walking red flag. You're gonna cut him loose at some point, right?
I just don't want to cut him off yet. I don't know.
Hannah, you know what you gotta do.
Yeah.
I think she initially dumped Nick for two reasons. One, she felt the other women were looking down on her for her association with Nick. Secondly, their opinion was confirming her inner fears about Nick, that he would abandon her because she's put him up on such a high pedestal.
You've got it all. You've probably gotten everything you wanted in life, right? You were a college athlete, then you went pro, and then I don't think you have trouble finding someone in the real world.
Then the reason why she took Nick back was because she saw who her competition was with Leo.
I was like, Leo, oh. I did not mean to say that.
That's my number one. I'm regretting the Nick thing. I mean, Leo could dump me.
Based on how Hannah judges other people, she probably would have been very threatened by Britney's conventional 90s standard of beauty. So Hannah quickly ropes Nick back in as a backup plan. But in the end, Hannah does choose Nick after she told him that she couldn't trust his Mr. Suave persona. Nick does cut the BS and expressed himself in a more authentic way, making their connection more genuine and meaningful.
I think you have such a beautiful soul. And no matter what you look like, this right here in this conversation is why I'm going to love you.
Yeah.
Nick also has his insecurities, which I think stem from his lack of experience.
I don't think I've ever been in love. It's a little bit scary. That's the part that scares me a little bit about this. I love my best friends and my family, but this is a romantic type of love. I get anxious, I get nervous, I overthink things.
I got the feeling at the start that Nick's smooth talking was just a facade.
I like to be flirty, I like to be sarcastic.
Tara, what's going on?
Anything you want to talk about, I'm here to chop it up like a Caesar salad.
That Mr. Rico Suave was just a front.
What's cute, me?
You're going down in history as the swaggiest punter kicker.
Oh my God, I appreciate that. I'm even more swaggy when you see me in person. Like, I'm gonna be straight up with you. I'm extremely blessed to get the chance to talk to you right now, I'll tell you that.
Aren't you the charming one?
Don't miss me too much, okay?
And I know that Nick was actually very inexperienced because he was laying it on so thick that most of the women instantly red flagged him. Like he wasn't fooling anyone.
He was a smooth talker. F-boy question mark?
And the only woman he fooled was Hannah, which reflects their matching level of maturity.
If you come out of the shower and you dress up and you walk out the room looking like a whole snack, I'm gonna like come up and like, you know, come up behind you and grab your hips, give you like a kiss on the neck and tell you you're the most
Oh my God,
beautiful girl in
Nick,
the world.
stop.
Like Hannah, Nick also talked up his physical attractiveness, which reflects his own insecurities that he doesn't think he can attract a woman just by being himself.
Henry Cavill, I feel like that would be mine.
I kind of look like him, like the less buff version of him.
And Nick's insecurities possibly stem from being the dorky, nerdy kid growing up, which is why he tries so hard to emulate this stereotypical jock persona.
I don't have a type, but like an athletic, hot nerd, yeah.
You got the first two down.
If Nick was really Mr. Suave, he would not have put up with Hannah's treatment of him subsequently.
At this age.
Are you mature enough, Nick? Because I taught you fucking everything that you fucking know. I turned into a boy into a fucking man.
So is Hannah really in love with Nick?
I fell in love with Nick, and I don't care what anybody says or how anybody feels, like, I love him.
The truth is, to Hannah, looks and social status matter. So when Nick was a Henry Cavill hot athlete with swag, then yes, she was in love with him.
Nicky D is so hot. I know he's hot. I know he's Mr. Suave. Like, he's charming, and he speaks well, and he definitely doesn't have a problem with getting women in the real world. He played football. He's a jock. He talks about like how he works out, and I think he's gonna have a lot of swag. I literally just can't imagine myself not being into that man.
However, when Nick was just Nick, her feelings turned a 180.
I'm so in love with you, and I can't wait to spend every moment with you. So, will you marry me?
In addition to not being physically attracted to Nick, I think Hannah was also very resentful.
In the pause, he described himself as like a football player, like bigger, medium build, like 5'11". And what he said, I don't think was really truthful.
Not only was she angry about feeling being lied to, I think she was also mad that Nick made her feel small or insecure with his inflated persona.
My biggest fear in this moment is that he's gonna see me and he's not gonna like what he sees.
Because in reality, Hannah deems Nick to be beneath her.
I'm like a foot taller than him. I've never dated someone shorter than me. It is making me feel a little bit insecure because I feel like I'm bigger than him. And like, when a guy's smaller than me, like, it's not even a me thing, but I know that men start to feel like emasculated by that.
Notice here how she expresses their height difference as worrying that Nick would feel emasculated, implying that he wouldn't like it, he wouldn't like her, and therefore would leave her. When in reality, I think that's her projection. I think in reality, she thinks Nick is not masculine enough. She's the one repelled and not liking it. Sure, Nick might feel a bit awkward about her being taller, but he never expressed overt resentment or anger.
She might have been a little bit taller than me, which is funny. You know, she's 5'9" with heels on, so, but I love that. That's perfect. I love that about her.
Hannah's subsequent behavior also does not indicate that she was that worried about Nick feeling emasculated.
You picked a good day to wear the heels, huh?
I thought you were secure.
In fact, I could argue that she seemed to find every chance to emasculate him.
Wait, how tall are you?
5'11".
I'm 5'11", sometimes 6'.
Are we on level?
No, you're not. Nick's my height.
Oh yeah, you're high, right?
Yeah.
This is how I feel like.
Check our wingspan, ready?
Oh my gosh.
I got him.
And this is one of many examples of Hannah switching up the narrative to make Nick look like the insecure petty person and she the secure understanding person. Hannah's treatment of Nick can be summed up with one main motivation. I think you'll hurt me, so I'm gonna hurt you first.
I felt really hurt.
I know you did. I'm sorry. I think I hurt you because I didn't want you to hurt me, which is very selfish.
As mentioned, despite her bravado, Hannah is actually deeply insecure. So her assumption in relationships is going to be that people would hurt her, abandon her, because she doesn't feel good enough.
I think I'm like scared you're gonna like be disappointed in me or something. I don't know.
This projection of hers then justifies her hurtful behavior. I'm just protecting myself. This is self-defense, a preemptive strike.
You know what actually it is?
What's that?
I think, I don't know why. I just think like you will break my fucking heart, I think.
Why do you?
I don't know, that's a problem.
Because the worst case scenario from Hannah's perspective is that she ever feels bad about herself.
You're a very confident person. I'm scared, like, I don't know, like how confident you are and stuff is gonna make me like less confident in myself. I don't know.
And notice how Hannah words things here, because she puts the onus on Nick completely, that he will hurt her, that his confidence is the cause of her insecurities. And by taking no accountability and playing victim, it makes Nick feel like he alone is at fault. It's now up to him to make her feel good, to rein in his own confidence, make himself smaller so that she can feel big. What's clear from the show edit is how Hannah constantly critiques Nick in almost every aspect possible. His physique and his physical abilities.
Your icks are starting to become just funny to me.
My icks?
Yeah,
like what was
okay.
one of my icks?
Just you like, you know, trying to get through it. And then I went through it like, you know.
Yeah,
like with grace.
His maturity and competence in adulting.
I think I'm financially more literate than you are. I feel like boiling pasta is like the most simple thing you could possibly do.
Right. I could figure it out. I don't want to upset you.
His career.
You're just upset because I make more money than you, Nick.
His sense of humor.
I make a joke and it's funny, and then you take it way too far where it's not funny, it's just mean.
His integrity.
You were talking about how much I read, and you were like, I would love to read. Like, have you read?
I haven't had a chance to.
Priorities, right?
And his perception of reality.
What was the last bullet point? Like delusional.
Yeah.
You think I'm delusional?
Hannah is a good demonstration of what contempt is versus constructive criticism. Contempt being one of the 4 horsemen predictors of a doomed relationship. Constructive criticism aims to help someone improve. You point out specific behaviors and you provide actionable feedback in a respectful manner. Whereas contempt is criticism delivered with disdain, ridicule, and disgust. Contempt aims to belittle, demean, and condescend.
Sometimes I feel like, you know, you do think I'm maybe sometimes like a level below you. You know what I mean? I just want to be treated as an equal.
I think you get treated like an equal when you start contributing like an equal.
And Hannah seems not to be happy when Nick starts to feel safe, when he thinks he's making progress.
Meeting your family and having that go well, and then meeting my family and having that go well, getting both of their support, you know, that was really important for me.
I think it's nice to have like family and friends' opinions, but at the end of the day, I don't really care what anyone else thinks. My opinion's the only opinion that matters.
Her focus is more on putting him down, questioning what's wrong with him, how he's inferior, versus practical instruction, helpful suggestions, and encouragement. After she's beaten his self-esteem to a pulp, Hannah changes her tune, swooping in to pick him up again, saying that she's only hard on him because she cares.
I think sometimes I'm hard on you to say mean things, like you feel like I think that you're like below me, you're not as mature as me, or like I think you're stupid or dumb or whatever. And I don't mean to make you feel like that. I'm not here to just like fuck around and date someone. I'm here to like actually have like a person for the rest of my life, you know?
Yeah.
She excuses her contempt for honesty and directness.
I know that a fault sometimes is that I am a little bit too direct, and sometimes it can come off as like malicious or rude, but like when you know me, you know that's actually coming from the most kind place of heart.
Well, and the truth hurts sometimes.
The truth does hurt sometimes.
But in the end, Hannah always makes sure that they conclude on her superiority over him.
I'm growing.
Behind every great man is a greater woman, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And if there are still any doubts about Hannah's intentions, all we have to do is compare her style of communication with Katie's.
There is nothing I want you to take personal from what I'm about to say, but when it comes to like maturity, I didn't think you were quite there.
Katie is not even someone who claims to be in love with Nick, but she is so much kinder and constructive with her feedback versus Hannah.
I think you lead with your charm and your charisma too hard.
Okay.
I think you're such like a beautiful and a deep person.
Yeah.
Like I would challenge you to lead with that.
Okay.
I remember talking about your family and they just sounded amazing. And I know you are this person that's filled with values. I think you're this person that's filled with a whole heart. Lead with that, right? Like, don't lead with like, I know you're so sexy.
Katie is still honest and tells Nick exactly where he went wrong, but she offers compassion and practical advice on what he can do instead, how he could grow, believing in his potential.
I think that's a defense mechanism, which is maybe coming from a place of insecurity. But I'm here to tell you, like, you are the whole package. You're fantastic. And I love and I'm proud of the person that you are.
And look, Nick is far from perfect. He's immature for his age, he still lives at home with his parents and lets them do a lot for him. He's inexperienced in relationships. He's also guilty of overselling himself in terms of his appearance in the pods. So I can understand Hannah's frustrations with him. However, I do agree with Katie that ultimately Nick's heart is in the right place and he's willing to accept feedback and learn.
As long as I'm working as hard as I can for you, you know, as long as I know the end goal and we have that end goal in common, right, to get married and I'm working towards it, like that's all I can do.
And despite his shortcomings, nobody deserves the treatment that he got from Hannah.
Social awareness, I do not see. Respect, you have none. Because I can use specific examples. I don't know if you can, but I can. And because I remember things I know you don't.
Throwing shade for no reason.
It's just the truth.
It's not the truth.
It's my truth.
But you see how you're always demeaning, you're always talking down on me. We're not equals here.
Katie's style of communication versus Hannah's shows us that there are ways to deliver your frustrations, your criticisms, without being cruel, especially if you claim to love someone. Also, if the relationship is not working for you, you can respectfully walk away. There's no need to break someone's spirit. Hi, quick break to say that if you wanted us to analyze your personality type and make sense of your relationships, communication, and decision making, then please find booking details in the description box below. And I've seen some people comment online their confusion with Hannah, which might be the same confusion Nick might have had with Hannah, that, you know, if she loves Nick, why be so cruel? And if she doesn't love him, why did she stay? Why does she act jealous or affectionate in between being cruel? And unfortunately, this is the nature of emotionally abusive relationships. Abusers are not these cartoon villains that are pure evil. A lot of emotional abuse stems from the abuser's own trauma and tragic backstory. They're acting out of their own pain, taking it out on those who let them. So Hannah's hot and cold treatment of Nick keeps him in. No one stays when it's 100% bad behavior. It's the occasional affection, sweetness, that glimmer of hope after they've put you down. That's what keeps people from leaving.
Like, we're open, we're honest, like, and that's what I love about us. Like, I feel like, again, like, you're my comfort blanket. Like, I can be, like, me around you. Like, I fucking love you so much.
Yeah.
Being good to Nick when there's other people around also confuses and isolates him in terms of his perception of the relationship. If other people witness what a lovely partner she seems, then they are less likely to believe how cruel she can be in private.
Finally! You're beautiful. He's just such a good human. And Nick's personality matches mine.
I think he's a cutie, but
he is a cutie. You know, you may be biased, you deserve him, you know?
I think she exceeded my expectations, I have to be honest.
Hannah also actively campaigns against Nick, I think, to win the support and sympathy of friends and family. She's very good at making him look bad with very embellished but very believable stories.
When I've been communicative for the past 2 weeks about what I need, like I told him exactly what I need sexually that turns me on, and you don't do it, you just continue to do the same thing that gets you off, then it's frustrating.
I gotta grab
He's very jealous of my vibrator, for sure.
She manages to both humiliate Nick and paint him as a selfish, egotistical misogynist.
He doesn't like to eat pussy.
So you like what?
Yes. You have to be very careful when you communicate sexual problems because for a man it can be humiliating. It can make them feel bad or make him feel pressure. So you have to be ego. Yeah.
At the same time, she makes sure to portray herself as this understanding, long-suffering good partner.
Like, I really truly love that man. Like, I really do. I'm self-aware enough to know, like, my own flaws, right? Like, I think with him, sometimes I'm very overcritical and I'm hard on him because I'm so overcritical and hard on myself. And so I'm working on that.
He has things to work on, don't get me wrong.
And as a result of Hannah's narrative, naturally people would feel protective over her and gang up on Nick, further feeding Hannah's ego.
I don't think it's a huge thing I need to change, and I'm willing to do that.
Yeah. Why is it so hard for you to get there then?
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say too. You say that it's not a huge thing, but then you're like, I have doubts about like getting married because of the 6 things that you like named off, right?
She doesn't want you to change who you are.
To explain why Hannah acted jealous is quite complicated psychologically, because jealousy could be perceived as love. She loves him, that's why she's upset when his attention goes elsewhere. In reality, Hannah's intense jealousy is her response to a loss of control when she feels she's losing power over Nick. We have to remember that emotional abuse stems from the abuser's own trauma and insecurities. Hannah is not truly as confident as she portrays.
It was just like instilled in me, it's like, Hannah, you can be the most beautiful girl in the world, but if you're fat, like someone like less attractive is like gonna get a man.
So a big part of Hannah does think that Nick is beneath her, but another part is also insecure and too scared to leave him. The insecure part that doesn't want to be single and worries about Nick abandoning her because deep down she doesn't feel that she's good enough. So this insecure part of Hannah enjoys Nick's validation of her. She relies on his adoration to feel good, especially when he agrees that she is superior to him.
So, tell me what you love about me.
Look, I love you don't have to change the type of woman you are for me. And I like that you can handle things on your own. It's very sexy. I like how confident you are. Like, that makes you beautiful.
Okay, go off. I love you. That was really nice. I needed that.
So when Nick's attention goes elsewhere, it sends her into a panic mode. So I think her feelings of jealousy over Katie's conversation is understandable. Nick and Katie did have a romantic connection in the pods, albeit just for 3 days. So Hannah's feelings of insecurity are a normal reaction, but she did not express this in the most mature way, embellishing her story once again to make things sound way worse than they are.
My best friend in the whole wide world and my fiance are talking and you guys are giggling, having the best time of your life. My best friend told me how attractive you were.
What does that have to do with me?
Is that a best friend who disrespects me like that? And is that a fiance that disrespects me
So
like
my
that?
question for you is, you're not secure in this, you don't trust me. That's what really
It's not
what
that
it comes down to.
I don't trust you, it's about respect.
Do you trust me?
However, with the duck incident, I would call that possessiveness because Hannah had a massive reaction when Nick was just being silly and playful with a fellow tourist lady.
Yeah? You want to come ride with me? Yeah, come on. Come on.
Nick, no.
We're going to race 5 yards in front of us. Yeah, we're going to see who wins, okay?
He's a moron, dude. Nick!
Oh, she's jealous. Don't be jealous. Not be jealous.
All right.
No, I'm not jealous, but like...
This lady was a stranger. Their interaction was short and just a silly duck race. However, Hannah also felt the need to embellish this story in order to get people on her side.
The girl was like, oh, looks like your girl's just a jealous little bitch. Yeah.
And some might argue that Nick was wrong to laugh along with the lady, that he was being disrespectful to Hannah. However, I think the lady's accusation of Hannah being jealous was an obvious joke, because it would be ludicrous for Hannah to actually be jealous given the context. This lady was a much older lady and they were just being playful. I mean, I think that's why Nick laughed. He's not laughing because he agrees that Hannah is jealous and laughing at her pain. It's funny because he thinks it's impossible for Hannah to be jealous in this case, that the idea is laughable.
No, I'm not jealous, but like, I'm not like a jealous person.
Yeah.
I'm not. Listen, I'm not like naturally a jealous person, but like, don't do that.
And this is why this here is all about control and not love. Her jealousy and possessiveness is self-serving. She just doesn't like it when Nick is off her leash.
Nick!
And I think Nick clocks it here, the essence of their relationship.
I can't be myself, I guess. And I can't dress up, I guess. I gotta look dumb.
Basically, Nick is not allowed to thrive on his own. He is merely there to stroke Hannah's ego and be her punching bag. Actually, Hannah summarizes quite well everything she did in their relationship. It's just that she projects her own thoughts and actions onto Nick, switching their roles again and playing victim.
I feel very manipulated and I feel very weak. I feel like he was so worried about like how his friends, his family, and everybody views him, and like how bad he was gonna look, instead of like actually trying to like focus on just like being here with me and being open and honest. I just don't know if he's even real.
And it's good that everything was filmed. Otherwise, I don't think anyone would have realized the truth of what happened.
I've never seen this side of you. When you constantly bash me and say I'm turning you from a boy to a man, and you know, this is just you being kind of like hard on me. I'm not the type of man to sit here and come up with a notebook full of notes and bash you. It didn't
Is that
work.
what you think I'm doing, is bashing you?
It's a little too much, to be honest with you.
That this man was being systematically broken down because of Hannah's own demons.
We are not going to get married. How do you feel?
I don't know, maybe I could have done a better job of it.
Yeah.
Interestingly, I think Hannah's family provided further insights into her consistent patterns.
But like, there have been multiple times where she said something way more cruel. I could take that stuff, but like,
that's
the 20th time, it's like, okay, like
that's been like my issue with her. Like, she's fucking great, but also she'll say things, and then if I say the same level of thing back, it's like a problem.
Right.
Hannah's dynamic with her parents also may explain where her deeper insecurities stem from, why she's so desperate to get respect and validation. I think Hannah has a huge need for attention and adoration. However, her parents seem very matter-of-fact and stoic, and basically never entertained Hannah's requests for validation when they think she was being unreasonable. Hannah seems to test their love for her, but her parents don't entertain it.
Are y'all not gonna grill him or what?
Well, I don't know how to grill.
I just want to talk and just feel like what he's like.
Okay,
You don't have to grill me just yet.
Yeah, I think you've grilled him plenty.
I'm not sure what the point of grilling him is now. I mean, it's done.
Her parents also remind her to self-reflect on her own flaws when she puts other people down.
There's just like characteristics and things he does that...
Well, Hannah, if that was the case, we would have thrown you out a long time ago.
Yeah.
And when she's looking for mom to back her up regarding Nick not being good enough for her, her mom does not give her the validation, but instead calls her out on prioritizing the wrong things.
For me, it's like Nick doesn't match me intellectually. Nick doesn't match my humor. She doesn't match me creatively. He doesn't match me financially. He doesn't match me like anywhere. And him meeting my friends yesterday, and they did not like him.
None of that matters if you love each other. None of that matters.
So I wonder if Hannah was actually also envious of Nick. because Nick was still so looked after by his parents at age 28, whereas she's had to sort herself out since she was 18.
Your parents pay your phone bill. What's your plan with that?
I mean, eventually, like in the next year or two, I'll probably start paying for it. But as long as they want to pay for my phone bill,
so I'll keep my phone bill for me.
Yeah. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because you're 28 years old. Because I've been on my own since I'm 18.
Yeah.
So I've had to pay all the bills, right?
So Hannah might have channeled her envy by being really competitive with Nick over who's more mature.
Are you ready to get married in 2 weeks?
I think I'm mature and I'm ready, and I just want to make sure you're mature and ready for it.
She loves shouting about how she's ready for marriage as a sign of maturity, not as a sign of love and commitment.
You know, I thought, you ready to get married? And think,
Do you think I'm not ready to get married?
To me.
In the end, yes, Nick has a lot of flaws, certainly, but Hannah has shown herself to be an insecure bully. She picks on him when he's accommodating and weak, but completely backs down when he shows strength.
I was so excited to show you like my fun side and have a fun night. And like, of course, I should have.
Yeah, but who ruined that? If I tell you I love you, if I tell you I love you, bet. Okay, roll with it.
Well, you look really hot right now.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful and interesting. If so, please like, subscribe, and share to support my channel. I've developed my own methods of interpreting personality types. If you would like us to analyze your personality type and make sense of your relationships, communication, and decision making, then please find booking details in the description box below.